All right, this is your turn number 3. So remember, we are looking for a variable to eliminate. So right now, of course, they won't. Negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2x plus 5x is 3x. 6y plus 5y is 11y. Nothing's going to eliminate. So let's try to make something eliminate. So it'd be really nice if this was a negative 2 or a positive 2, or this was a negative 5. That's not going to be easy. So let's see if this is easier. Oh, man. It's not easy to make this a 6 or this a 5 negative. So what are we going to do? We need them to be the same number. So this example is going to be one where you need to multiply both equations by something. So I am going to do this 2 different ways. And so for this video, I'm going to eliminate y. If you want to see how to eliminate x, you can watch the other video. Okay, so if we're going to eliminate y, we need these two numbers to be the same, but one of them negative, one of them positive. Notice that they're both positive right now. So what number can I make 6 and 5 really easily become by multiplying? Well, 30 is going to be the smallest number because 6 times 5 is 30. Now, it will always work to figure out what number you need to use elimination by just multiplying these two numbers together, but you don't always have to do that. There might be a smaller number. So I would always do the smallest. You can also do bigger numbers too, like these both also divide evenly into 60, but why would you do 60 when you can just do 30? So let's do 30. So we want to make them both 30, except we want one of them to be a negative 30. So it doesn't matter which one you make negative. But to make it 30, right, to make 6y become 30y, we would multiply by 5. So we're going to multiply that top equation by 5. Or we can multiply it by negative 5. Let's go ahead and just multiply it by a positive 5. So that's going to be equation number 1. So since we're multiplying the top equation by a positive 5 to make a positive 30, we need the bottom equation to be a negative 30. Positive 30y, negative 30y. So to make 5y become 30y, we'd have to multiply by 6. To make it negative 30y, we need to multiply by a negative 6. So we're going to multiply everything in both sides by a negative 6. And that's equation number 2. All right, so notice we're having to multiply both equations by something in order to eliminate here. And that's going to be the most complicated type of elimination problem you'll ever get. Okay? All right, so let's do it. Let's take that top equation. 5 times negative 2x is negative 10x. 5 times 6y is my positive 30y. Equals, on the right side, negative 70 times 5. Use a calculator if you don't know, but it's negative 350. All right, so that's my new equation number 1. That's my adjusted equation number 1. So now we need to do equation number 2. So we're going to distribute as well. Negative 6 times a positive 5x is negative 30x. And a negative 6 times a positive 5y is a negative 30y. And that's what we wanted, right? Equals. We have to use our calculator here. 55 times negative 6. And that's negative 330. All right, so that's my new equation number 2. So again, this is equation number 2. They're the same equation, they just look different. One's multiplied up. Same thing for equation number 1. So now we're going to take these two equations and add them together, because that's what's going to cause a variable to eliminate. So again, we have it nicely set up, left side. We have to add left side to left side, right side to right side, and it's nicely lined up by like terms, because we had x's and y's on the left side, constants on the right. So combine like terms. Negative 10x plus a negative 30x, not minus a negative 30x. There's not two minuses here at the 30x. This negative goes with the 10x. This negative goes with the 30x. So it's either negative 10x plus a negative 30x or negative 10x minus 30x. And that's negative 40x. And then 30y minus 30y, or 30y plus a negative 30y, that eliminates. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Equals, on the right side, we have negative 350 minus 330, or negative 350 plus a negative 330 is negative 680. So again, it's not minus a negative. There's not two negatives here. This negative goes here. It's just minus. So negative 350 minus 330, or plus a negative 330, is negative 680. All right, now our last step is easy. To isolate the x, we're going to divide by negative 40, both sides. I don't expect you to know that in your head, so get your calculator. But negative 680 divided by negative 40 is positive 17. All right, now we solve for x. Now the rest of this process is the same exact thing we've been doing when we did it in 8.3 when you used elimination and when you did substitution. It's the same process. Once you get one of the variables, it's super easy to finish solving. But you got to remember, always take one of your original equations, not one of your adjusted equations. 2 reasons. With one, we did something to them. You could have messed up. Maybe you forgot to distribute the 5 over here, or maybe you forgot to multiply this side by 5. So then your answer is going to be wrong. So if you use these equations that are wrong, then you're going to continue to get things that are wrong. So you have to make sure that you use original equations, otherwise you'll never catch any mistakes, and then it's pointless to check. No, I wouldn't say pointless, but like it's not going to even be helpful. All right, so let's go ahead and pick one of the original equations, doesn't matter which. I'll go ahead and pick equation number 1, and I'm going to solve for y. So it says negative 2 times my x, which I just solved for, so I know that's positive 17, plus 6y is equal to negative 70, and I just need to finish solving. So I need to isolate the 6y term, so I need to get rid of this, but I got to figure out what that is first. Grab a calculator. It's negative 34 plus 6y equals negative 70. Okay, now I need to isolate the 6y term by getting rid of it. So since it's a negative 34, I'm going to add 34 to both sides. That zeroes it out on the left side, leaving the left side with just that 6y, which is what I wanted, equals, grab a calculator, negative 70 plus 34, is negative 36. And then our last step is super easy, divide each side by 6, and we get y is equal to a negative 6. Okay, we used equation number 1 to solve for our second variable, so we need to check to make sure it works in equation number 2. Can't remember if I said the reason earlier, but the reason, again, we don't use these equations, the second reason I'm pretty sure I didn't say, is because they're multiplied up. They're bigger equations, bigger numbers. Why would you do that when you can use smaller numbers? All right, so let's go ahead and check it in equation number 2 then. So I'm going to write check. And equation number 2 says 5 times my x, which we said is 17, plus 5 times my y, which we just said is negative 6. Is that really equal to 55? So guys, you can plug this whole thing into your calculator, or it's a product plus a product. So order of operations says you got to multiply first, because I can't add 2 products unless I know what those products are. So 5 times 17, grab a calculator. Or you can do 5 times 10 is 50, 5 times 7 is 35, and 35 and 50 together is 85, plus 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. And then what is 85 plus a negative 30? Well, that's just like 85 minus 30, and that is a positive 55. So we know we are correct. So our final answer written as a coordinate point would be 17, negative 6 in parentheses. So that's where these 2 lines intersect. All right, if you would like to see how to eliminate x to solve this problem, you can watch the other video. All right, that's it.